Today we are going to learn about the most amazing scientifically proven stories about ants. Forget the stereotypes that they are just tiny bugs. In reality, they are brilliant engineers, farmers, and strategists capable of solving complex problems without a single computer. Army ants of Central and South America do not build permanent nests. They are constantly on the move in massive colonies of up to 1 million individuals. They often face obstacles along the way, such as cracks in the ground, gaps between branches, or streams. To avoid wasting time detouring, these ants build living bridges out of their own bodies. How does it happen? The first ant reaches the edge of the gap and slows down. The ants coming from behind start stepping over its back. Feeling the weight, the first ant freezes and grips the edge with its legs. The next ant moves slightly further ahead, freezes as well, and this continues until the bridge reaches the opposite side. Over this living deck, the entire colony rushes across at incredible speed. What is the actual scientific discovery here? For a long time, people thought this was just a blind instinct. See a gap, lie down. However, scientists conducted experiments, changing the angles between branches and the width of gaps, and revealed something astonishing. Ants can calculate the cost-benefit ratio in real time. Scientists proved that ants unconsciously solve a complex optimization problem. The bridge dilemma. Every ant stuck in the bridge is a disengaged unit. It cannot forage or defend the colony. If the bridge is too long, the colony loses more workforce than it saves in time. The solution. As soon as the bridge becomes inefficient, for instance, taking up too many ants just to save a couple of seconds, the structure disassembles immediately. The ants simply let go and the colony takes a detour. Scientific fact. Ants can dynamically change the shape and length of the bridge right during the movement of the colony, adapting to the intensity of the traffic. If the flow of ants decreases, part of the bridge is instantly laid off and goes back to marching. If the traffic picks up, the bridge extends again. Why is this important for science? This discovery amazed roboticists. Today, these army ant behavioral algorithms are used to program swarms of autonomous robots. Thanks to ants, scientists are teaching groups of small robots to merge into one large bridge or chain without any central command, relying purely on simple tactile rules. That is how tiny, blind insects without architects or foremen outpaced human technology in dynamic logistics. But if you think bridges are the limit, how about ant agriculture? Leafcutter ants created their underground greenhouses 50 million years before humans ever thought of planting the first seed. You have probably seen footage of these power lifters carrying huge pieces of green leaves. While they don't actually eat them, the leaves are just fertilizer. The ants carry the greenery deep underground, chew it up thoroughly, mix it with their saliva, and use this mass to cultivate a special type of fungus. This creates massive underground fungal plantations that feed the entire colony. Scientists discovered that ants have strict quality control. If a harmful mold appears on the beds, specialized worker ants begin producing powerful antibiotics on their bodies to fight it off. Essentially, they have their own pesticides, fertilizers, and agronomists. Think you can easily drown an ant? Think again. During floods, fire ants turn themselves into a single supermaterial. They lock their legs and jaws together to form a massive living raft. Physicists from the Georgia Institute of Technology studied this phenomenon and were absolutely thrilled. This living raft possesses the properties of both a solid and a liquid. It is incredibly elastic, unsinkable, and behaves like waterproof fabric. The ants can float like this for weeks. Moreover, they share responsibilities. The ants at the bottom keep the raft afloat and periodically swap places with the ones on top so that no one suffocates. Scientists are currently using this physical model to develop self-assembling materials of the future. Another discovery is the navigator ants. Desert Saharan silver ants live in a completely flat desert with absolutely no landmarks. An ant can wander for kilometers looking for food, making thousands of zigzags. Yet the moment it finds a piece of prey, it turns around and walks back home along a perfectly straight line. How? Scientists proved that they have a built-in path integration system. The ant constantly counts its steps and uses sunlight as a compass. Based on this data, its tiny brain continuously solves trigonometric equations to calculate the shortest vector back home. Even when scientists glued microstilts to the ant's legs to change their stride length, the ants still counted steps based on their old memory and missed the nest by exactly the difference in stilt length. This is pure mathematics, and for dessert, real ant medicine. Recently, scientists from the University of Würzburg proved that Florida carpenter ants are professional surgeons. They know how to perform amputations. If an ant injures its leg in battle, its nestmates examine the wound. If a dangerous infection has set in, they carefully bite off the damaged limb right at the base. Scientists calculated that after this brutal but precise operation, the survival rate of the wounded jumps to 95%. Furthermore, if the wound is clean, they do not amputate. Instead, they spend hours licking it, secreting a natural antiseptic from their mouths. They have their own diagnostics and treatment protocols. Today, all these algorithms are being studied by modern robot creators, physicists, and medics. Tiny creatures without a single drop of gray matter in the human sense build bridges, perform surgeries, practice farming, and calculate complex routes. So, the next time you see an ant, give it a little wink. You might just be looking at a future Nobel laureate.